I remember a time when I woke up every morning already doing silent calculations in my head. How long would my salary last if something unexpected happened? What if rent went up again? What if food prices jumped again? Back then, my job felt like protection, but deep down, it never felt truly safe. The harder I worked, the more obvious it became that effort alone wasn't creating real security. If you're watching this, there's a good chance you've had that same uncomfortable thought. Is depending on a job alone still enough? Before we go further, if conversations like this help you think clearly about money, gently support the channel by liking this video. It tells YouTube this kind of content matters, and it helps more everyday people find practical financial ideas without hype or confusion. You can also share this with someone who quietly worries about money but doesn't know where to begin. And if you want honest, calm discussions about income, freedom, and long-term thinking, subscribe so you don't miss future videos. My name is Mike, and today I want to walk you through the fastest realistic way I worked toward replacing my salary with dividend income. This is not about getting rich overnight. It's not about risky shortcuts, hype strategies, or gambling on the market. This is about building income that continues to arrive even when you stop actively working every day. For a long time, I believed that if I just worked harder, everything would eventually feel stable. But here's the uncomfortable truth I had to accept. Salaries look stable on paper, but inflation quietly eats away at them every single year. Prices rise faster than most paychecks. The same effort buys less freedom over time. That realization forced me to ask a difficult question. What happens if my job disappears before I'm ready? That's when I started searching for income that didn't depend on constant effort or permission from an employer. And that search led me to dividends. Dividend income is simple once you understand it. Instead of selling assets or constantly watching prices, your investments pay you cash regularly just for owning them. Think of it like this: your money works quietly in the background, sending income while you focus on living your life. Once I understood that shift, my entire relationship with work and stress began to change. Dividends come from owning pieces of real businesses. When those businesses earn profits, they can reinvest some of it and share the rest with shareholders. If you own shares, you get paid not for working more hours, but simply for ownership. That was a powerful realization for me. Before dividends, I obsessed over price movements. I kept asking, how high can this stock go? Now I ask a different question. How reliable is this income? That one shift filtered out a lot of flashy investments that looked exciting but failed over time. Dividend investing felt calmer, slower, more intentional, and most importantly, it felt predictable. To make this practical, I needed a clear goal. I chose a target of $2,900 per month, which is roughly $35,000 per year. For many people, that already covers basic living expenses. Your number might be higher or lower, and that's fine. The process works the same either way. Once I defined the target, everything became measurable instead of vague. The first strategy that truly accelerated my progress was covered call ETFs. These funds generate income in two ways: dividends from stocks, option premiums collected monthly. In simple terms, the fund owns stocks and sells the right for others to buy them at certain prices. Those buyers pay fees up front, and that money gets distributed as income. Because of this structure, covered call ETFs often produce higher monthly income than traditional dividend stocks. But there's a trade-off. When markets surge, upside can be limited. For income-focused investors like me, that was acceptable. At average yields between 8–12%, replacing $35,000 annually required far less capital than I originally expected. Roughly speaking, around $300,000 could reach that goal depending on yield conditions. That realization alone changed my timeline dramatically. Still, I didn't put everything into one strategy, because balance matters. The second strategy involved real estate investment trusts, or REITs. REITs allow everyday investors to earn income from apartments, warehouses, offices, and shopping centers without owning property directly. They collect rent and distribute most of it to shareholders. I like REITs because they turn physical real estate into simple, tradable shares. Many pay monthly dividends. They provide income tied to real assets. Historically, diversified REITs have delivered steady income over long periods. Yes, they can fluctuate when interest rates rise or economic conditions weaken, an understanding that helped me avoid panic during scary headlines. At average yields, replacing $35,000 annually, again, came close to $300,000 invested. Diversifying across different property types, reduced risk, and smoothed income. And unlike traditional real estate, There were no tenants calling me at midnight. The third strategy focused on dividend aristocrats, companies that have increased dividends for 25 plus consecutive years. These businesses survived recessions, inflation, and market crashes. Their yields are lower, usually around 6-7%, but the reliability is unmatched. Using only this strategy would require closer to $500,000 to replace $35,000 annually. I don't use them for speed. I use them as the foundation. They help income keep up with inflation and reduce stress during market downturns. The real breakthrough came when I stopped choosing one strategy and started combining them. Covered call ETFs handled aggressive income. REITs added real asset exposure. Dividend aristocrats provided long-term stability. No single investment had to be perfect. When markets fell, income still arrived. That consistency built confidence. I didn't quit working overnight. I built income alongside my job. Early on, I reinvested all dividends. As income grew, I slowly redirected it toward real bills. That transition required patience. Rushing would have weakened the system. I tracked cash flow, not daily prices. That mindset kept me steady when markets felt uncomfortable. Here's the entire approach boiled down. Focus on income replacing expenses, not portfolio size. Choose reliability over excitement. Accept trade-offs between speed and safety. Combine strategies instead of chasing perfection. Even $500, $1,000 per month can change your stress level dramatically. Momentum builds confidence. For me, freedom wasn't luxury. It was knowing basic expenses were covered no matter what happened. Dividend income didn't make me rich overnight. It gave me control. I worked by choice, not fear. That changed everything. If this made sense, start by defining your own monthly income target. Then, reverse engineer the path patiently. Consistency beats intensity. Systems beat motivation. If this video helped you, support the channel with a like. Comment below what income number you're aiming for, even if it feels small. And if you want more calm, realistic money content, subscribe for future videos. Thank you for spending this time with me. I'll see you in the next one.